So both Drake and Kendrick
Called me a
both
rat.
called you rats.
Yes.
Okay.
Sammy the Bull up in this piece. I don't even know what's going on.
Okay, but were you leaking information to either
I
one
had
of
no
them?
information to leak. That's, as my guy DJ Head says, like, I'm not cool with nobody like that. Obviously, it wasn't even as cool as I once was with Drake's camp. I didn't know what he was doing. I've never had an insight into Kendrick's camp. I mean, I have cool rapport with him and Dave Free and Anthony Soleil's now involved. And if I hit Top Dog directly, hit me with something. But no one's talking to Elliott talking about, hey, I'm strategizing this. Maybe we should. I was consuming the battle like everybody else as a fan. And I loved every record that came out until The Heart Part 6. Drake sounded defeated and irritated and frustrated.
I didn't like that song. Yeah.
I didn't like that song. And I was like, and the public said, hey, Kendrick's the winner. And everything's been crazy since then. It's like the public decides now in this era. Like, it's just like, you know, but no, I didn't know. I had no real insight into anyone's moves. I'm glad I didn't. I wanted to experience the records like everybody else. Like, and I did that just as any other fan would. I didn't know what was going to happen when it happened.
Well, you said that the Drake-Kendrick battle is the greatest battle of all time in hip-hop.
I believe that, yes.
And I see what you mean by it because, I mean, obviously people are going to say Tupac and Biggie, but Biggie never really responded.
Yeah.
It was one-sided.
No, subliminals. Biggie was
subliminals, but not a full-blown.
Biggie never claimed any of his records towards him, yeah.
I mean, Ice Cube versus NWA. NWA had a few little things, but, you know, No Vaseline was thorough, but there was no real response to No Vaseline. Once No Vaseline dropped, crickets.
Yeah. Well, NWA kind of was over by that point.
Yes, NWA was over. Yeah. But even, like, I remember when I interviewed DJ Yella, he said when they all heard it, they were all like, God damn. Like, we can't come back from this one. Like, yeah. And, I mean, at this point.
I mean, Jay and Nas was amazing.
Jay and Nas, yeah. I mean.
But you never had as much. The thing is,
there's way more hype. There's way more music.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing
there's
is, like,
social media.
Yeah, you can be critical that this era. If you don't think the last, you know, it's the older guard. Like, you're not going to respect as much the modern day face of hip hop. But literally, you have two guys who've been the main dominant figures of hip hop in the last 15 years, who've had over a decade-long tension between each other, finally engaging, and gave us a lot of records in this modern era where also social media happens and all these different things they did. Like, it never had nothing like that to this level. No, I just think you can't touch that. It's amazing.
Well, yeah, you said,
and we're still feeling it. It's never over. Like,
we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
You said that Drake tried a little bro Kendrick like he did with A$AP Rocky, J. Cole, and Meek Mill.
Yeah, I think if you think about it, he never really directly went at Kendrick or took him seriously. Like, you think he has a problem with viewing him as his true rival, if somebody could even be better than him, because Drake's given us so much more music than Kendrick has.
True.
So I think that he has a certain arrogance and confidence that, like, I get how you think he's like this cool artsy thing that's dope and he makes these classic albums, but I'm the hit maker. I'm the machine. I've given you all this shit. I'm the leader of the culture. And I think he underestimated his opponent. It's the constant thing we see in sports. It's like, you can't ever underestimate your opponent. And he turned everything about his output towards them as a 20v1. Like, I got smoke for Metro. I got smoke for Weeknd. I got smoke for A$AP Rocky. It's like, but when are you going to center on Kendrick? And why are you better than Kendrick? He never gave us that, to me. Where Kendrick got directly on Drake throughout the whole thing.
I've been saying this for years and years. I feel like Drake makes better songs, but Kendrick is more creative.
Well, he showed that. He showed that.
The creativity that Kendrick has, Drake doesn't have. But the ability to make great songs, club bangers.
That's why it's such a great battle. They're such geniuses in different ways.
Exactly.
Like, his styles make fights, right? Like, they're both the great. Like, they're both great. I said my hot take is that they're my top three all time now is Jay-Z, Drake, and Kendrick. Like, to me, all time. And I think that's where I stand with it. Like, I think it elevated the culture and everything, and it's interesting to see what happens. But I hate to see Drake make the moves he's making post-battle. I don't like the songs he's put out since then. I don't like this, you're going to make a record with Party Next Door now. Like, why play into this idea that you're just like the melody man? And like I think I'm uncomfortable with that Drake's not getting the credit he deserves in his place in hip-hop. And I think he honestly doesn't really know how to maneuver yet right now post this battle. And it's very interesting to watch.
Wait, and you've said that you don't think that Drake and Kendrick will ever be cool.
I don't think they ever were cool once Control Verse came out. I think it changed after Control Verse. I think that was the thing. That was the quad shooting. That was the thing where these guys could never gonna be friends again, right? Think about Biggie and Pac. They never were friends again after the quad shooting.
Yeah, but they weren't given the time.
Huh?
They weren't given the time.
Well, that's
to
true.
work it out. Right?
I don't think
Quad shooting happened. Pac goes to jail. He gets out, joins death row, and a few months later he's dead. Right? There wasn't a long period of time. Think about it. If they were in their 50s, I think they would have became cool. That's what I think.
I think Drake. I think they can't. Again, I think it still comes down to the little bro dynamic. Would Drake embrace Kendrick and be cool with him again? I think he would. Does Kendrick want to embrace Drake and be cool with him? I don't think he does. As simple as that. Would Charlamagne like to sit down with Elliott? I think he would. Does Elliott want to sit down with Charlamagne? Right now, I don't. Will that change? It's doubtful. I look at both things the same way.
Okay.
So, I don't think Kendrick wants it. I think Kendrick does a masterful job of I see that. I also take that from, again, go back to Charlamagne, his Big Sean interview and all the interaction with Big Sean, talk about Kendrick said this to me behind the scenes. It's like, I think Kendrick plays nice, but I think he's a killer and he wants to be number one. And I don't think he's outwardly going to be friends with anybody in that way unless it's like his crew or his people's. Like, I don't see him being like that person who's this like gracious person. Like Drake wants to be the charming leader of everybody type thing, right? A little bit. I'm going to embrace all these guys. I'm your guy. Kendrick doesn't want to be that. Kendrick is a leader in his own. It also, to me, it's the Jay-Z Nas thing. I always say, like, Jay in his height was the guy at the club still. He wanted to be the guy, I run hip hop. I'm here every day. Where Nas would dip in and out. But does Nas think he's still greater? Yes. So I look at Kendrick like a Nas character where you're not going to really see him want to be buddy with these other artists per se.
I agree.
You know? But so that's why it's so powerful with the pop out to see him embrace everybody and play that role of like, and I think he has genuine love for all these guys.
But it was all West Coast guys.
Yeah, exactly.
There were no Canadians on that stage. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I think we underestimated his how much love and respect Kendrick has from California and how everybody views him as like, he doesn't have to be the street dude himself to get that level of respect from all the street dudes. I think that was underestimated also, and it showed itself, you know?
Well, did you see my interview with Marcellus Wiley?
Mm-mm.
Well, in my interview with Marcellus Wiley, he had hinted on this years ago, but he had Drake, and he finally revealed it on my show. Drake came to his show at ESPN.
Oh yeah,
and trashed Kendrick.
Yeah, I didn't know the level he said something, but said negative. So
after the interview, they came back and said, "You got to take this out, and if you don't, Drake is not going to host the ESPYs."
Drake is doing our show, Max and myself, Max Kellerman and myself, Sports Nation, big hip hop fans, both of us, because we're hip hop fans. / he's hosting the ESPYs that year. Now we always did our show live. Always. Studio audience, all this stuff. That day, I don't know why, we had to tape it. So it's like 11:30. Our show aired at like 1:30 or something, 2 hours before the show. And so we taping the interview with Drake. We get there early. We do it. Now, Max and I, so hip-hop, we just go in there. Like, we not got the standard questions. He like, damn, okay. And it turned into him going at Kendrick Lamar. And really going at Kendrick Lamar, saying, man, come on, man. I'm me and he's him. And all like, he just sunning him. And Max and I, while we doing an interview, you know, we see full shot of Drake. We hitting each other elbow like, this motherfucker going in. We like, whew. And he just kept talking trash about Kendrick. I don't know what he was saying, because I got hit in the head a few times. And
do you remember any of the details?
Kendrick's not as good as him. They got the video somewhere, so I wish they just let the shit go because it's out there, but they probably burned them like the Spygate tapes or some shit like. But it's out there. He was saying basically him, Kendrick here, stop comparing me to the guy. So he's hosting the ESPYs and he's flexing. Interview over, 10, 15 minutes, I don't know. Max and I are sitting there like, our lives about to change in 2 hours because, I mean, for hip-hop kids to be in the middle of a beef that they ain't a part of, like, I was like, yo, we got the exclusive. It's going down. 12 o'clock comes. You can see everybody moving different in the studio, whatever. 12:15, producers call us up. That interview you guys did with Drake, was anything bad, wrong? What was that about? And I was like, he went in on his rival. He went in on Kendrick. And I'm from Compton, so I'm like, he went on my guy, right? So I'm laughing. 12:30, 12:45, another meeting. Yeah, Drake's people called and said, we shouldn't air that. Are you guys sure everything was fine? I was like, everything's good. Actually, it's great. He went in on somebody that's going to give us huge boost ratings, people going to watch, etc. 1 o'clock, they was like, we're not airing the interview.
Wow.
So
that's
they
crazy.
actually buried that whole interview. But I'm
Crazy.
sure Kendrick knew about it.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Of
Like
course.
word travels. So,
Of
you know,
course, of course.
a lot of stuff like, you know, happens behind the scenes
Yes.
for the public not to see, but everyone knows what
Absolutely.
really happened.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely.